In this video, we're going to learn how to find the inverse of a 3 by 3 matrix. So here's a matrix. Now, this process is significantly more complicated and longer than finding the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix. And it's quite uncommon in an exam to just be asked to fully find the inverse of a 3 by 3 matrix. However, it is very important to know the full process because there are questions where there is some unknown in the matrix and you need to find the inverse in terms of that unknown, or sort of questions where you need to fill in the gaps, a partially completed one. So in this video, I'm going to go through one example in detail, and then I'll give you a chance to go through an example for yourself, and I'll also go through that. It's really a 4-step process, and I'll explain what each of these terms means. So step 1 is we find what's called the matrix of minors. And don't worry, I'll explain everything when we get there. Step 2 is we apply something called the matrix of cofactors. Next, we transpose the matrix, and I'll explain what that means. And finally, we're going to divide by the determinant, which you'll know what that bit means, hopefully. Okay, now the majority of the work happens in step 1. So here is how we find the matrix of cofactors. What we need to do is create a new matrix, and our new matrix is another 3 by 3 matrix, and each cell, each of the 9 cells in our 3 by 3 matrix is the determinant of the sub-matrix from that point. Here's what I mean. It's quite similar to finding the determinant of a 3 by 3. So to find out what goes in the top left cell, that's the spot that the 2 currently occupies, you find the matrix of the cells left if you delete the remaining row and column. So in this spot, it's the matrix or the determinant of this little submatrix. So 0, -1, -2, 1. So that's 0. 0 times 1 is 0. Minus, and what we have is 2 here. So it's a -2 there. Now we move along and we do the same thing. And we need to basically do this 9 times. So we move along one step. We're looking at this spot here. We delete everything in that column and that row, and we look at the little submatrix left. So the determinant of 1 - 1, 3, 1 is 1 minus -3, so 1 plus 3 is 4. And don't worry about doing any sort of positives or negatives yet. We'll deal with all of that in the matrix of cofactors section. So unlike when we're finding the determinant, you don't need to do a plus, minus, plus. We'll deal with that later. Okay, next it's this one. So we delete that column and that row, and we look at the submatrix here. So 1 times -2 is -2, minus 0, so that's just -2 there. And we keep going. And like I said, this is a slow process, but you can often do it on the calculator. Right, for this one here, we delete that row and that column. We look at the submatrix left over. So -1 minus -2, that's -1 plus 2 is 1. And we keep going. I'm no longer going to delete, actually cross through the rows and columns just to save time. But when we're finding one in the middle, the submatrix is 2, 1, 3, 1. So that's 2 minus 3, and that's -1. For this one here, we imagine deleting the column and the row. We get the submatrix 2 minus 1, 3 minus 2. So that's -4 minus -3. That's -4 plus 3. That's -1. Now the bottom row, 3 here, we have this submatrix giving us 1 minus 0. That's 1. For this one here, our submatrix is 2, 1, 1, -1. So it's -2 minus 1 is -3. And finally, for down here, the submatrix is up here. It's 0 minus -1 is 1. So that is our matrix of minors. Next is the matrix of cofactors. Now, what you need to do is you imagine applying a checkerboard made of pluses and minuses on top of this. And the checkerboard that you apply goes plus minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. So you imagine overlaying this on top of your matrix of minors. And what that does is basically when it's a plus, you keep the sign, and when it's a minus, you reverse it. So the plus applied to the minus 2 just leaves it alone. The minus applied to the 4 gives us minus 4. The plus applied to the minus 2, we leave that negative alone. Then minus applied to the 1 gives us a minus 1. The plus applied to the minus 1 leaves that as minus 1. The minus applied to the minus 1 makes it plus 1. The plus 1 applied to the 1 leaves it as 1. The negative flips the sign of the minus 3 to give us 3, and the plus leaves the 1 as 1. So that is the matrix of cofactors. Step 3, transpose. So the transpose of a matrix is simply where all the rows and the columns flip along the diagonal. So what that means is instead of minus 2, minus 4, minus 2 running across the top row, it's now going to run down the first column. So we have minus 2, minus 4, minus 2. Then we go to the next row, minus 1, 1, and that becomes our next column. Minus 1, 1, 1. And finally, that bottom row becomes our right-hand column. 1, 3, 1. So we're nearly there. All we need to do is divide by the determinant, or work out the determinant of the original matrix and stick 1 over that in front of this. So we need to actually find the determinant. And so the determinant of this matrix is 2 multiplied by the submatrix here, which is 0 minus 2. Now, in fact, we already know what these terms are. We've already worked them out here. That minus 2 we'd already worked out here. And then it's minus 1, so plus 1, multiplied by the submatrix 1 minus 3, which we've already worked out to be 4. And then it's 1 plus 1 multiplied by the submatrix from that one, and we've already worked out that minus 2 minus 0 is minus 2. So in total, we have minus 4 plus 4 minus 2. And so that gives us minus 2. So we need to just divide the whole thing by minus 2, which is really just sticking a 1 over minus 2 in front. So our answer then, m to the minus 1, or the inverse of m, is 1 over minus 2, or minus a half, lots of our transposed matrix here. Minus 2, minus 1, 1, minus 4, minus 1, 3, minus 2, 1, 1. Now it's perfectly acceptable to leave the answer like that. I see quite a lot of negatives here, so I might choose to sort of bring the negative here inside. So one totally equivalent way of writing it would be a half times and bring the negative inside, giving me 2, 1, minus 1, 4, 1, minus 3, and 2, minus 1, minus 1. And indeed, if you wanted, you could also just bring that half inside as well if you wanted. So multiply every single term in the matrix by a half, gives us 1, a half, minus a half, 2, a half, minus 3 over 2, and 1, minus a half, minus a half. All three of these are acceptable ways of leaving your answer. Of course, they're the same thing. So that is the process. You might be thinking, why does that work? And the explanation for it is substantially more fiddly and more complicated than it is on the 2x2. And really, it's beyond the scope of this course. So do look into it if you're interested, but be warned, it's quite intense algebra for that. Okay, so if you feel like you understood the previous example, I definitely encourage you to pause this and have a go. Go back and look at how I did the previous one if you need a reminder, but it'd be useful for you to work through an example on your own. Okay, hopefully you've done that now, so let's go ahead and start. So step 1, find the matrix of minors, which is our matrix made up of all of the little determinants of the sub-matrices. So the first one, we've got 2 minus 0. Next, it's negative 1 minus 0. Next, it's 1 minus 8. Now, next row, it's 0 minus minus 1. then it's 5 minus 4, then it's minus 5 minus 0, bottom row, 0 minus 2, then it's 0 minus minus 1, and finally it's 10 minus 0. So there's our matrix of minors. Next is our matrix of cofactors, so we apply that checkerboard of plus minus plus, minus plus minus, plus minus plus over it. So every time we have a plus, we leave it alone. So leave this one alone and flip the sign. Leave this one alone, flip the sign. Leave this one alone, flip the sign. Leave this one alone, flip the sign, leave this one alone. Then we take the transpose. So the first row becomes the first column, so 2, 1, minus 7. The next row becomes the next column, minus 1, 1, 5, and the bottom row becomes the final column, minus 2, minus 1, 10. Finally, we need to work out what the determinant is and multiply by that. So that's 5 multiplied by the submatrix determinant here, which is 2. Then it's minus, well, it's 0 times whatever, so it doesn't matter. And then it's plus 1 times the submatrix here, which is 1 minus 8. So that's minus 7. So we have 10 minus 7 is 3, which means that the inverse of this matrix, m to the minus 1, is, and it's 1 over the determinant, so a third, and then 2 minus 1, minus 2, 1, 1, minus 1, minus 7, 5, 10. So hopefully you had a go at doing that yourself, and hopefully you got that answer. It's a fairly long process, but you can see we rattled through that in just a few minutes. Okay, so that's the process. Like I said, it's pretty rare in an exam to just be given a 3 by 3 matrix and told find the inverse. And so in the next video, we're going to look at more common exam questions where you have to problem solve using these ideas. So see you there.